Kumar Ram Narain Karthikeyan is the first Formula One motor racing driver from India. He has previously competed in A1 GP, and the Le Mans Series. He made his Formula One debut in 2005 with the Jordan team, and was a Williams F1 test driver in 2006 and 2007. Like several other former F1 drivers, Karthikeyan moved to stock car racing and drove the number 60 Safe Auto Insurance Company Toyota Tundra for Wyler Racing in the 2010 NASCAR Camping World Truck Series. In 2011 he returned to F1 with the HRT team, continued with the team in 2012 and was expected to drive for them in the 2013 season as well. However, HRT was not included in the FIA's 2013 entry list, and thus Karthikeyan was left without a drive. In 2013, Karthikeyan raced in the AutoGP series, securing 5 wins and 4 pole positions with Supernova Racing. For 2014, Karthikeyan has signed up with Team Impul to race in the Japanese Super Formula Series. Early career: Karthikeyan was born in Coimbatore, Tamil Nadu. Karthikeyan did his schooling at Stan's Anglo-Indian Higher Secondary School in Coimbatore. Karthikeyan's interest in motorsport began at an early age, as his father was a former Indian national rally champion winning South India Rally 7 times. He is also related to the late S. Karavardhan, India's most famous racing driver until Karthikeyan came along. With the ambition of becoming India's first Formula One driver, Karthikeyan finished on the podium in his first ever race, at Sriperumpuja in a Formula Maruti. He then went on to the Elf Winfield Racing School in France, showing his talent by becoming a semi-finalist in the Pilot Elf competition for Formula Renault cars in 1992. He returned to India to race in Formula Maruti for the 1993 season, and in the same year, he also competed in the Formula Vauxhall Junior Championship in Great Britain. This gave him valuable experience in European racing, and he was keen to return for the following year. In 1994, he returned to the UK, racing in the Formula Ford Zetek Series as the number 2 Works Vector driver for the Foundation Racing team. The highlight of the season was a podium finish in a support race for the Portuguese Grand Prix held at Estoril. Karthikeyan also took part in the British Formula Ford Winter Series, and became the first Indian to win any championship in Europe. In 1995, Karthikeyan graduated to the Formula Asia Championship for just 4 races. However, he showed pace immediately and was able to finish second in the race at Shah Alam, Malaysia. In 1996, he had a full season in the series and became the first Indian and the first Asian to win the Formula Asia International Series. He moved back to Britain in 1997 to compete in the British Formula Opel Championship with the Nemesis Motorsport team, taking a pole position in win at Donington Park and finishing 6th in the overall points standings. In 1998, Karthikeyan made his debut in the British Formula 3 Championship with the Carlin Motorsport team. Competing in only 10 rounds, he managed 2 third-place finishes in the final 2 races of the season, at Spa-Francorchamps and Silverstone, to finish 12th overall. He continued in the championship for 1999, finishing on the podium 5 times, including 2 wins at Brands Hatch. His season also included 2 pole positions, 3 fastest laps and 2 lap records, helping him to 6th in the championship. He also competed in the Macau Grand Prix, qualifying in 6th position and finishing 6th in the second race. Continuing his drive in the British F3 Championship in 2000, he finished 4th overall in the standings, and also took pole position and fastest laps in the Macau Grand Prix. He also won both the International F3 race at Spa-Francorchamps and the Korea Super Prix. Karthikeyan started 2001 in the Formula Nippon F3000 Championship, finishing the year amongst the top 10. In the same year, he became the first Indian to ever drive a Formula One car, testing for the Jaguar Racing team at Silverstone on June 14. Impressed with his performance, he was then offered a test drive in the Jordan Honda EJ11 at Silverstone in September. Karthikeyan again tested for Jordan, at Mugello in Italy on October 5, finishing just half a second off the pace of Jordan's lead driver Gene Ailsey. In 2002, He moved into the Telefacubed Nico World Series with Team Tata RC Motorsport, taking a pole position and setting the fastest non-Formula One lap time at the Interlagos circuit in Brazil. Continuing in the renamed Superfund World Series in 2003, Karthikeyan won 2 races and took 3 other podium positions on his way to 4th overall in the championship. These results earned him another Formula One test drive, this time with the Minardi team. He was offered a race drive for the 2004 season, but was unable to raise the necessary sponsorship funds to seal the deal. During the year, he married Pavana. He continued in the Nissan World Series, renamed World Series by Nissan, in 2004, taking wins in Valencia, Spain and Megny-Cauers, France. Teams: Carlin Motorsport, RC Motorsport, Team Impul, Williams F1 Team, Jordan Toyota. Championships: British Formula 3, Formula Nippon, Formula Nissan, Formula One Career, Jordan. On February 1, 2005, Karthikeyan announced that he had signed the preliminary deal with Jordan Formula One team and said that he would be their main driver for the 2005 Formula One season, thus making him India's first Formula One racing driver. His partner was the Portuguese driver, Tiago Monteiro. Karthikeyan completed the necessary testing distance of 300 km in an F1 car in order to gain his superlicense at the Silverstone circuit on February 10. In his first race, the Australian Grand Prix, Karthikeyan qualified in 12th position. After a poor start which saw him drop to 18th place by the end of the first lap, Karthikeyan finished in 15th, 2 laps behind winner Giancarlo Fisichella. He achieved his first points in the 2005 United States Grand Prix under farcical circumstances as all but 3 teams pulled out due to an argument over tire safety. Karthikeyan finished 4th, finishing ahead of the 2 Minardi drivers but behind teammate Monteiro. Apart from the USGP, Karthikeyan's highest finish was 11th place. In the 2005 Japanese Grand Prix free practice, he was fastest for a long period of time and eventually qualified 11th. At the 2005 Chinese Grand Prix he qualified in 15th place. In an unlucky end to his 2005 season, Karthikeyan crashed his Jordan into a wall at the Chinese race, but was unhurt and able to provide an interview afterwards. Because the Jordan team was taken over and renamed Midland for the 2006 season, the management change prompted some doubt over Karthikeyan's future at the team. Near the end of 2005, Karthikeyan announced he would not be driving for Midland the following year allegedly due to their demand that he pay as much as $11.7 million to secure his seat on the team. He mentioned that anyway, being a test driver in a good car will allow me to showcase my skills better. On December 8, 2005, Karthikeyan tested for Williams at Spain and finished a respectable 5th, outpacing the confirmed Williams second driver, Nico Rosberg in the FW27C chassis, who finished 9th. On January 27, 2006, Williams confirmed Karthikeyan as their 4th driver. He was to perform testing duties for the team alongside Alexander Wurz, who had been confirmed earlier as the team's 3rd driver. He was retained as a reserve test driver for Williams alongside Kazuki Nakajima in 2007. Karthikeyan said he was blown away by the difference between Formula One stragglers and a top-flight team. HRT. Later in 2007, he was linked with the Spiker Formula One team after their driver Christijan Albers was fired, although Seiken Yamamoto got the drive. Due to the withdrawal of support from Tata of Williams F1, Nakajima was given the lion's share of testing duties and Karthikeyan was sidelined. When the Spiker F1 team was bought out by Vijay Mallya towards the end of 2007, Karthikeyan had been linked with a drive with a new Force India Formula One team in 2008. However, Karthikeyan did not even get to test for the team. Karthikeyan was also linked to a drive with the Super Aguri team in January 2008, as one of the terms of an Indian consortium investing in the team. The deal was not agreed and he continued to drive for A1 Team India. Karthikeyan was India's only Formula One driver until the 2010 season, when Karun Chandhok signed to drive for the Hispania Racing F1 team. On January 6, 2011, Karthikeyan announced that he would drive for the Hispania team in the 2011 season, following 5 years away from active involvement in the championship. Karthikeyan confirmed the deal via his Twitter page, saying it would be a dream come true to race in front of the home crowd in the Indian GP in October, and adding that the support of financial backers Tata Group had been instrumental. Driving for a small team, along with the increasing reliability of modern Formula One cars, meant that Karthikeyan twice set the record for the lowest-placed finisher in a Formula One event. The first occurrence was during the Chinese Grand Prix, where the single retirement of Jaime Alguersuari meant Karthikeyan finished in 23rd place, after he was overtaken by teammate Vitantonio Luzzi on the final lap. However, in the European Grand Prix there were no retirements, meaning that Karthikeyan once again broke the record by being the 24th car to cross the finish line. On June 30, 2011, Karthikeyan was replaced by Daniel Ricciardo for the remaining races of the season except the Indian Grand Prix, but participated in Friday first practice in Germany, Singapore, Japan and Korea. On October 23, 2011, it was confirmed that Karthikeyan would replace Luzzi for the Indian Grand Prix. Karthikeyan was outqualified by 0.022 seconds to qualify 22nd, however he started 24th and last due to blocking Michael Schumacher in qualifying. Despite picking up damage in the first lap of the race, Karthikeyan managed to beat Ricciardo by 31.8 seconds in the race to finish 17th. Luzzi returned to replace Karthikeyan ahead of the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. On February 3, 2012, it was confirmed that Karthikeyan had again signed for the HRT team for the 2012 season, partnering Pedro de la Rosa. In the Australian Grand Prix, he and teammate Pedro de la Rosa were unable to qualify. In Malaysia, both the HRTs managed to qualify, with Karthikeyan starting 23rd due to a 5-place gearbox penalty for Heikki Kovalainen. The start was wet and the HRTs gambled to start the race on full wet tyres, whilst the other cars started on intermediate tyres. As the rain increased, that gamble paid off as other cars had to pit for full wets, which promoted Karthikeyan to a points-paying 10th place before the safety car then red flag came out for heavy rain. At the restart, after a few more laps behind the safety car, the track was dry enough for intermediate tyres and a few drivers pitted as the safety car came back in. However, Karthikeyan stayed out and was as high as 5th place at one point, before McLaren's Jenson Button crashed into him whilst they were racing for position. Karthikeyan suffered damage however, but he pitted for intermediate tyres which dropped him to the back of the field, bar teammate de la Rosa who had served a drive-through penalty. On lap 47, Red Bull's Sebastian Vettel received a puncture after hitting Karthikeyan's front wing, whilst lapping him, and Vettel was forced to pit and replaced the punctured tyre, which put Vettel down from 4th place, finishing 11th. Karthikeyan finished the race in 21st, however he was given a 20-second post-race penalty for his part in the collision, which meant Karthikeyan dropped to 22nd and last, behind de la Rosa. Post-race, Vettel and Red Bull boss Christian Horner criticized Karthikeyan's driving, with Vettel calling Karthikeyan an idiot. Karthikeyan hit back at Vettel, calling him a crybaby. Later, Karthikeyan decided to call a truce with Vettel, stating his respect for Vettel's abilities and saying, "I think we have to deal with it in a mature way and forget about it." Karthikeyan qualified last for the following 5 races, however Karthikeyan only started 24th and last twice due to other drivers picking up grid penalties. In China, Karthikeyan finished 22nd, ahead of Caterham's Heikki Kovalainen. In Bahrain, Karthikeyan finished 21st and was classified ahead of the Williams of Bruno Senna, who retired due to brake issues. In Spain, Karthikeyan retired for the first race in the same after a wheel nut failure on lap 22 due to a botched pit stop. In Monaco, Karthikeyan started 22nd, ahead of Pierre Copyright Z and the penalised Pastor Maldonado, and finished the race in 15th, classified ahead of McLaren's Jenson Button, who retired after collision damage with Kovalainen. In Canada, Karthikeyan retired for the second time in the season after suffering a brake failure on lap 22, which made him spin in turn 1 and stop later on in the lap. His teammate Pedro de la Rosa retired with a similar issue 2 laps later. At the European Grand Prix, Karthikeyan for the first time in the season qualified 22nd, ahead of the Marussia of Charles Pic, with Timo Glock missing qualifying and the race due to illness. Karthikeyan finished the race in 18th, behind Piquet de la Rosa but classified ahead of Lewis Hamilton, who retired after crashing out with 2 laps remaining. He finished the next 3 races as the final classified finisher before retiring in Hungary due to broken suspension. He qualified last in Belgium, before running as high as 13th during the race, with good pace, before crashing out on lap 30 in broken suspension. He outqualified his teammate de la Rosa for the first time this year at Monza, but ended up finishing behind him in 19th. He outqualified him again at Singapore, this time by over a second, but crashed out at turn 16 on lap 30. He qualified in 24th at Suzuka, having crashed in practice and therefore having to use an old spec chassis floor. He was running ahead of Piquet de la Rosa for quite some time until retiring with vibrations on lap 32. He did a one-stop strategy in Korea and finished last in 20th, almost a lap behind Piquet in 19th. In India he once again finished last, running with minor wing damage from a collision at the first corner. He retired in spectacular fashion on lap 9 in Abu Dhabi after his steering broke and he was rear-ended by Nico Rosberg. He qualified 24th in Austin amid fears that both he and his teammate would be outside the 107% time after struggling to heat the tires in practice on the brand-new circuit, and then finished last in 22nd, also being accused by Vettel of holding him up when being lapped and allowing Lewis Hamilton to take the lead. He qualified 23rd in Brazil and peaked as high as 11th during the incident-packed opening stint of the race. He eventually dropped back and finished last in 18th. He finished the season in 24th, with 0 points. Other events and races. IRL test. In 2005, Karthikeyan tested an Indy Racing League car for Red Bull Chiva Racing Team for the Indianapolis 500 race and was offered $500,000 as initial fee, but the deal was not completed. A1GP. In 2007 season Karthikeyan also drove for A1 Team India. He made his A1GP debut in New Zealand and he finished 10th in the sprint race and 7th in the feature race. Karthikeyan won the A1GP of Zhuhai for Team India on December 16, 2007. This was India's first A1GP win. Karthikeyan is also the first to take pole position for India in the A1GP. He got pole in the feature race in Brands Hatch in 2008. Karthikeyan won 2 feature races in the 2007 Euro 2008 season, including the season finale at Brands Hatch starting from pole position. This helped India finish in the top 10, ahead of such as Australia, Brazil, China and Italy. The 4th season for Team India was disastrous as the team lost its title sponsor, which resulted in severe financial constraints. On May 3, 2009 A1 Team India finished the season with a podium finish in the sprint race at Brands Hatch. Karthikeyan qualified the A1 Team India car in 7th place on the starting grid for the race. The feature race ended abruptly for Karthikeyan, as he was taken out by the spinning car of A1 Team China in front of him on the first corner of the first lap. The team finished 12th overall in the 2008 Euro 09 season. 24 Hours of Le Mans. In the second week of March 2009, Karthikeyan tested for the Coles Le Mans team. It was later confirmed that for the 2009 season, he will be partnered by Christijan Albers. Team Coles Euro headed by X-Force India team principal Colin Coles Euro will be taking part in the championship with 2 Audi A10 turbo diesel machines. The car boasts a successful racing history with 3 Le Mans 24 Hours victories and 22 individual race wins to its name. Team Coles joins the championship for the first time in 2009. On May 11, 2009, Karthikeyan finished 6th in his first ever Le Mans Series race while driving for the Coles Audi team in the second round of the 2009 championship held at the Spa-Francorchamps circuit in Belgium. On June 14, 2009 Karthikeyan dislocated his shoulder in a fall just before the start of the race. He had come up with strong performances in the practice and the qualifying, and was scheduled to do the opening double stint. At 1 a.m. the ACO organization declared him unsuitable to drive, even though the Audi doctor approved it. NASCAR. Karthikeyan made his NASCAR debut at Martinsville Speedway on March 27, 2010, driving in the Kroger 250 Camping World Truck Series for Wyler Racing in the number 60 Safe Auto Insurance Company Chevrolet Silverado. Qualifying was rained out in the field set by 2009 owner points, putting the first Indian-born driver to compete in NASCAR in the 11th starting spot. After a slow start and coming to grips with driving a race truck and racing on an American oval short track for the first time, Karthikeyan did manage to put in a very respectable effort and finished on the lead lap in 13th place. Karthikeyan went on to win the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series Most Popular Driver Award for the 2010 season, which was voted by the fans, becoming the first foreign-born driver to win the award. Super League Formula: Karthikeyan drove for the PSV Eindhoven team in SLF in 2010. He won the second race at Brands Hatch, Great Britain, and finished 16th in the championship on 288 points, taking part in 6 of the 12 race weekends. AutoGP: Karthikeyan drove for Zeal Racing and Supernova Racing in the AutoGP series in 2013. After switching from Zeal Racing to Supernova Racing, in the latter part of the series, he won 5 races and secured 4 pole positions, and in the process finished 4th in the championship and became the highest points scorer in the second half of the season. Racing record, career summary, complete Formula Nippon Super Formula results, key, season in progress. Complete Formula 1 results, key, complete A1 Grand Prix results, key, Super League Formula, key, 24 Hours of Le Mans results, complete AutoGP World Series results, key, complete NASCAR Camping World Truck Series results, key. See also, Formula 1 drivers from India, references. External links, official website, Narain Karthikeyan on Twitter, Narain Karthikeyan driver statistics at Racing Reference.